going into next week, we play Texas Tech. We open up Big 12 play. What are your main concerns with this team?
Giving up the little simple stuff. Texas Tech is going to look at this film and they're going to see some of the same routes that UTSA ran. I think we need to tighter coverage and get pressure. I mean, we had pressure tonight, but the missed tackles have to stop. I mean, we can't afford to hit the quarterback in the backfield and not be able to bring him down. We can't afford to hit the running back in the backfield and him squirt out for a 10-yard run. I mean, that's just things that have to be worked on. It should already have been worked on, but tackling is the biggest issue that I've seen tonight.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest thing I've seen tonight is tackling, and I think that's more of a lack of concentration, especially you saw it a little bit less in the second half. And it's one of those things where if you're not engaged in the game, it's very easy to miss tackles. And if you're not willing to go 100% full throttle to make a tackle, and the other guys, I mean, this is UTSA's biggest game of the year. This is their biggest game. They're going to come out and play like we did versus Alabama. And if we don't match that intensity like we did in the first half, you see a tie game. Or if you see we come out in the second half and play with much more intense style and do better fundamentally, then we win that second half very easily, very convincingly. So I'd agree with you on the tackling point just based off this game, but I think we're good there going forward as long as we're engaged. And I think going forward in the Big 12, we will be. My biggest thing is the deep ball. With Hudson Card in there, he cannot hit a deep ball. He's hit one deep ball as a starting quarterback at the University of Texas. One. So that is my biggest concern because if we cannot push the ball down the field, people are going to eventually just say, guess what? Let's play bump with these guys, force them to beat us over the top, and see what happens. And the thing is, UTSA doesn't have a great defense, and neither does Texas Tech for the most part. They've gotten better, but they're still not great. So luckily for us, the next good defense we play is Oklahoma. So I think we'll be able to run the ball pretty convincingly versus most of these teams that we play in the next couple of coming weeks. And hopefully, Quinn Ewers will be back by Oklahoma. I know there are reports that he's progressing faster than thought, which is even better. He's been out there with shorts on and stuff like that during warmups. I don't know if he threw, but he was out there, so that's good. He did throw? Okay, so that's good. So he could be back even sooner. I think we should go in next week with Hudson as the starting quarterback regardless, and then from there on out, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, at the end of the game, I didn't see him during the game, but at the end, I seen him. He was suited up as well.
Okay.
So that was surprising to see, definitely. But, he was throwing there pregame and everything. So maybe if Hudson struggles, you never know. These kids, they're young. They go on the men better than some of us older folks that can pull something and be down for months. But I was surprisingly happy with Hudson today. His stat line, it wasn't eye-popping, 15 of 23, 161 yards and a touchdown. But, him being hobbled and him being, not able to go 100%, step into his throws. But like you said, the deep ball is an issue. And in Steve Sarkisian's offense, that's definitely a thing that you have to have at your disposal. You have to be able to stretch the field to open up the intermediate stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, if a team was able to stop the run and the deep ball isn't there, then the offense is going to be very hard to score on offense. So that will be interesting going into next week. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about Texas Tech's defense right now to be able to say one way or the other if they can do that or not, or if I'm confident they can do that or not. I don't think they can just based off past history. And right now, I definitely don't think West Virginia's defense can do it. So we got very lucky with who we're starting out Big 12 play with, because if we're talking Kansas State, like Oklahoma opens up with Kansas State, if we're talking that or an Oklahoma State to open up with, I think we would have been in a lot more trouble with with the injury to Quinn Ewers that he sustained. Let's get to a couple of these comments. Wasn't always pretty, but a solid win by DMS 1983. 100%. At the end of the day, we want it to look a certain way, but there's a lot of teams that have lost this year to worse teams, and we won by 21 points at the end of the day. We even covered the spread, so that's a good thing. And this there's a lot of good things that we take out of this. Again, I just want to see us come out more engaged in the first half versus teams that we think we're better than. That's what we need to do. That's still the missing part of this team. I think so they've answered enough of it right now that I can say that I think the halftime adjustments, like you said, D4, we made those, it seems like, and it seems like going forward we'll continue to make those. So that's one thing that was kind of answered tonight, but we still need to be engaged coming in early. But this is another thing by DMS 1983 as well. Best news, no more games on Longhorn Network this year. Thank God, because I don't have Longhorn Network, so I have to stream these games, and it is so hard to find, and it's terrible. I do not like it. It's not fun. So all the games will be available to me now, so that's nice.
I have Sling TV, and I was watching on there, and midway through the third quarter, it cut off.
Oh God.
So I had to find a stream.
Yeah. And the issue with streams is like there's a couple of them, but they were doing the same thing. They would like cut off and then bounce back. Mine was at least bounce back like a quarter and a half. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? But I finally found one. And the second half was good for me, but the first half was so spotty and it sucks. I wonder how like what the ratings are with Longhorn Network, like how many people actually watch the games on there. I would be interested to see that. They're probably not good.
No, not at all. That's frustrating, and thankfully that'll go away when we hit the SEC. And
yeah, thankfully.
SEC Network is pretty good about putting games out there and staying solid. So, and it comes on cable TV. So